of Caesarea wrote to Demetrius in regard to the matter, defending themselves thus: "He has stated in his letter that such a thing was never heard of before, neither has hitherto taken place, that laymen should preach in the presence of bishops. I know not how he comes to say what is plainly untrue. For whenever persons able to instruct the brethren are found, they are exhorted by the holy bishops to preach to the people. Thus in Laranda, Euelpus by Neon, and in Iconium Paulinus by Celsus, and in Synada Theodorus by Atticus, our blessed brethren. And probably this has been done in other places unknown to us." He was honored in this manner while yet a young man, not only by his countrymen, but also by foreign bishops. But Demetrius sent for him by letter, and urged him through members and deacons of the church to return to Alexandria. So he returned and resumed his accustomed duties. Chapter 20. The extant works of the writers of that age. There flourished many learned men in the church at that time, whose letters to each other have been preserved and are easily accessible. They have been kept until our time in the library at Illea, which was established by Alexander, who at that time presided over that church. We have been able to gather from that library material for our present work. Among these Beryllus has left us, besides letters and treatises, various elegant works. He was bishop of Bostra in Arabia. Likewise also Hippolytus, who presided over another church, has left writings. There has reached us also a dialogue of Caius, a very learned man, which was held at Rome under Zephyrinus, with Proclus, who contended for the Phrygian heresy. In this he curbs the rashness and boldness of his opponents in setting forth new scriptures. He mentions only 13 epistles of the holy apostle, not counting that to the Hebrews, with the others. And unto our day there are some among the Romans who do not consider this a work of the apostle. Chapter 21. The Bishops that were well known at that time. After Antoninus had reigned 7 years and 6 months, Macrinus succeeded him. He held the government but a year, and was succeeded by another Antoninus. During his first year the Roman bishop Zephyrinus, having held his office for 18 years, died, and Callistus received the episcopate. He continued for 5 years, and was succeeded by Urbanus. After this Alexander became Roman emperor, Antoninus having reigned but 4 years. At this time Philetus also succeeded Asclepiades in the church of Antioch. The mother of the emperor, Mammia by name, was a most pious woman, if there ever was one, and of religious life. When the fame of Origen had extended everywhere and had come even to her ears, she desired greatly to see the man, and above all things to make trial of his celebrated understanding of divine things. Staying for a time in Antioch, she sent for him with a military escort. Having remained with her a while and shown her many things which were for the glory of the Lord and of the excellence of the divine teaching, he hastened back to his accustomed work. Chapter 22. The works of Hippolytus which have reached us. At that time Hippolytus, besides many other treatises, wrote a work on the Passover. He gives in this a chronological table, and presents a certain Paschal canon of 16 years, bringing the time down to the first year of the Emperor Alexander. Of his other writings the following have reached us: on the Hexaemeron, on the works after the Hexaemeron, against Marcion, on the Song of Songs, on portions of Ezekiel, on the Passover, against all the heresies, and you can find many other works preserved by many. Chapter 23. Origen's zeal and his elevation to the presbyterate. At that time Origen began his commentaries on the divine scriptures, being urged thereto by Ambrose, who employed innumerable incentives, not only exhorting him by word, but also furnishing abundant means. For he dictated to more than 7 amanuenses, who relieved each other at appointed times. And he employed no fewer copyists, besides girls who were skilled in elegant writing. For all these Ambrose furnished the necessary expense in abundance, manifesting himself an inexpressible earnestness in diligence and zeal for the divine oracles, by which he especially pressed him on to the preparation of his commentaries. While these things were in progress, Urbanus, who had been for 8 years bishop of the Roman Church, was succeeded by Pontianus, and Zebinus succeeded Philetus in Antioch. At this time Origen was sent to Greece on account of a pressing necessity in connection with ecclesiastical affairs, and went through Palestine, and was ordained as presbyter in Caesarea by the bishops of that country. The matters that were agitated concerning him on this account, and the decisions on these matters by those who presided over the churches, besides the other works concerning the divine word which he published while in his prime, demand a separate treatise. We have written of them to some extent in the second book of the defense which we have composed in his behalf. Chapter 24. The commentaries which he prepared at Alexandria. It may be well to add that in the 6th book of his exposition of the Gospel of John he states that he prepared the first 5 while in Alexandria. Of his work on the entire Gospel only 22 volumes have come down to us. In the 9th of those on Genesis, of which there are 12 in all, he states that not only the preceding 8 had been composed at Alexandria, but also those on the first 25 Psalms and on Lamentations. Of these last 5 volumes have reached us. In them he mentions also his books on the Resurrection, of which there are 2. He wrote also the books De Principiis before leaving Alexandria, and the discourses entitled Stromata, 10 in number, he composed in the same city during the reign of Alexander, as the notes by his own hand preceding the volumes indicate. End of Book 6, Part 2.